everyone, my name is Blanche and welcome to Feast in the Middle East, and I'm going to make a magnificent dessert that you can try this 4th of July called LAYALI LUBNAN, or Lebanese Nights. It's basically a layered custard where there's a semolina custard on the bottom with a whipping cream layer with pistachios and a delicious sugar syrup that has an essence of rose that goes on top. It's beautiful to look at, very fancy, but actually quite simple. And it starts with the base of a custard, a milk-based custard, and I'm going to use 4 cups of whole milk. Now you can use half and half for whipping cream. Some people really go whole hog with the fat in this element, but you don't have to. I like to lighten things up because I don't like my desserts too heavy, and I found that whole milk works great. So here we're going to start with 4 cups of whole milk, and of course I use organic milk. So to this milk, I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar. That's it, just a half a cup. Okay, and we're going to stir it around and around until the sugar dissolves and the milk sort of explodes. Not literally explodes, but you know, it's just going to end up getting frothy and rise. And as soon as that happens, you want to lower the heat and put it on a simmer. So I'm going to just swirl around right now. And to this, I'm going to add 2/3 cup of semolina. In Arab culture, we use semolina for a lot of our desserts. We use them for our cakes, our cookies, as well as our puddings. And you'll find that semolina makes a fantastic thickening agent in this dessert. So 2/3 cup. Now here's the deal with this dessert. Some people like a more watery custard, and some people like a denser custard. If you like a dense custard, add 3/4 cup semolina. But if you like it a bit more watery, make it half a cup. I kind of bring it halfway. I add 2/3 cup of semolina. As I'm stirring around, this is going to be a white custard topped with pistachios. I wondered, why did they call this Lebanese Nights? I mean, are Lebanese Nights kind of cloudy and white with pistachio colored stars or something? I mean, what's the deal? So I asked my Lebanese friend Cosette, and she told me it is a symbol of the Lebanese flag. So the Lebanese flag is white, green, and red. So you get the white pudding, and then you get the green pistachios. And she said that they use a special kind of red jam on the top. I'm not a big fan of jam, so I figured I will plate it in this red container, and that'll take care of the red part of the Lebanese flag. So while the milk is about to boil, I'm going to make a sugar syrup, sort of like a simple syrup, and it is simple, really. It's 1 part water to 1 cup sugar. So I'm going to add 1 cup sugar. I'm using superfine sugar so that it dissolves quickly, to 1 cup water. Okay, and we're also going to let this simmer for a while until it gets nice and thick and dissolved. So I'm going to put this on this burner here, right? A lot of our desserts do require simple syrup. You'll notice simple syrup in baklava, in kanafa, in harissa, basbousa. But there are a couple of reasons for this. One is you can actually customize the sweetness of your dessert. So oftentimes the simple syrup isn't served on top of the dessert, but it's served on the side in a little pitcher, and people can kind of customize how sweet they want it, which is nice. And it's just a great way to lend some extra sweetness, refined sweetness to a dessert. So I'm just going to let both of these sort of simmer. While that heats up, there's another element to this custard, and it's going to require 2 eggs. There's 1. To the egg, I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, just to kind of cut out any eggy flavor, and I'm going to just whisk this. And this is going to be added to the custard at the very last minute. Okay, right now the water and sugar have boiled. As soon as it starts boiling, I want you to add the juice of half of a lemon to it. Now the juice of half a lemon does 2 things. First, it adds a beautiful flavor, nice lemony flavor, but it also prevents the sugar syrup from crystallizing. It prevents crystallization. So if you don't use this whole syrup for this dessert in one swoop, you can store the rest in a jar in your refrigerator, and it'll last up to a month like this. So I'm just going to reduce it just a little bit so that it goes on a low simmer. And let's take a look at this milk here. It's getting nice and thick. See, this custard is getting nice and thick. It's beautiful. The semolina work is just as effective as cornstarch or gelatin in really making this gel up and firm up into a nice pudding-like consistency. I could already feel it getting thicker and thicker. Okay, I can tell, okay, this milk is boiling, it's getting thicker. I'm going to add the eggs to it, but before I do that, I need to temper the eggs, meaning I need to add some hot liquid to it so that the eggs don't curdle. So here, I'm just going to whisk it. That way the eggs are nice and prevent curdling before I add it to the rest. I'm gonna turn it off the heat, and I'm gonna add the eggs to the rest of the custard. Here we go. And stir it immediately, like whisk this baby. Don't hesitate, be quick. Okay, at the very last minute when I'm done, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of rose flower water. This is going to give it a beautiful smell as well as a beautiful flavor. I'm going to serve the Layali Lubnan in cups like these for 4th of July. Here we go. So for the Lebanese, I've got my red plate, and I'm going to just pour the whole thing in here. Let's let it sit like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put plastic wrap over it and refrigerate it for about 2 hours until it gets solidified. Okay, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to now whip up the top layer, which is some whipping cream. Okay, now for the top layer, I just need 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Don't skimp. Don't use regular milk. Don't use half and half. Use regular whipping cream and about a teaspoon of sugar. Not very much sugar because we're going to use the sugar syrup on top, remember that. So I'm going to whip this until stiff peaks form like you would for a meringue, all right? So here we go. So we're just going to keep going until stiff peaks form. You see how stiff that is? That's beautiful. Now let's take a look at our syrup. Yeah, now it's gotten really thick. See that? It's nice and thick. And what I'm going to do to this syrup is I'm going to just add 1 teaspoon of rose flower water just to this as well. So we added lemon juice, half of a juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to add a teaspoon of rose flower water and stir it up so we've got our nice syrup. And now for assembly. Because this needs to cool, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and cover it. I already made one in advance so I could show you how to assemble it all. Okay, this one's all nice and cooled off. And so what I'm going to do is put the whipping cream on top and just spread it around. This is the second layer right here. All right. Isn't that beautiful? Lebanese Nights. They're white. Apparently they're white nights in Lebanon. White nights. So just put that. So you realize why you have to cool this. I mean, if I put this on the hot custard, all that hard work I just did for the whipping cream, it would all melt. I'm just doing a very simple presentation. If you want to go fancy, you could pipe on the whipping cream like you would on a layer cake. Design, any design that you wish. Okay, now for assembly, I'm going to top the whipping cream with pistachios, which are going to add a nice crunch. This is a magical combination. I don't know why, but pistachios with rose water taste divine together. Whoever thought of it is a total and complete genius. This is it. This is like the best dessert, one of the best desserts I've ever had. So we've got the pistachios on this. You know, to finish the presentation of my little patriotic bowls, I know that this isn't cooled off yet, but I'm just going to top each one with some whipping cream just to give you an idea of how to assemble it. All right, and then you can top each one with some strawberries, and now some blueberries. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now we've got our sugar syrup. Now what you can do is you can serve it on the side. You can put it in a pitcher and people can do it, put as much as they want, but I'm just going to, just for appearance sake, just show you how you can also serve it. Just sprinkle the rose flower syrup all the way around, like that. And I'm also going to top each one. Makes it, the fruit kind of glisten, gives it a nice touch. And see, I'm not using all of this sugar syrup. I'm just putting some on top, and I'm going to put the rest in the pitcher, and the rest of the people can put as much as they want. But, you know, I have to do quality control, so I'm just going to try a little bit like this. Look how beautiful that is. So you've got like 3 layers here. See that? I wish I could really capture the layers, but I'm just going to take a little bite here. Honestly, one of my favorite desserts of all time. And I'm really excited to share it with you. And it's something different. You know, you could bring it to a party and people would be like, what is that? And you could tell them the story about Lebanese Nights. It's sort of like a patriotic dish for Lebanon. And you can give it this nice little American twist to make it a patriotic dish for America. That's what I'm all about. I like to bring cultures together, as I'm an Arab American, so it works for me. Anyway, I hope you have all a safe and happy 4th of July. And please subscribe to my channel. Support us on Patreon if you want to see more of these videos. Catch me on feastinthemiddleeast.com or on Facebook at Blanche's Feast in the Middle East, on Instagram at Blanche Media. I want to interact with you. And if you do try it, send me a picture. I'll share your picture with all the rest of the Feast in the Middle East peeps on social media and show off your work as well. Until next time, happy 4th and sahteen. Oh, wow, this is amazing. Look at all these layers and the rows and the,